Hello there, community. My name is Chadlack1, and I'm going to show you how to make a charge and shooting projectile. Sounds pretty fun, I must say. So, what I'm going to do for this project, I'm going to do like a simple, I'll use a side-scroller one for the hell of it. 'Cause why not? Alright, so let's name it Tutorial. If I could type right. Tutorial ORIL. Tutorial charge projectile. I'll just call it tutorial charge. That sounds good. And I'm going to let the screen go black real quick while it starts to build the project. Alright, so just got done making our tutorial charge project here. So let's go ahead and set this as startup project. And local debugger, hits play, and we'll see how it goes when it gets done building. It'll go black for a minute and it'll come right back. Alright, starting to start up the editor now. Just gotta load it up. Alright, so first things first, let's take a look at what we have for controls right now. Just simple left and right, jump, no left click of some sort. So what we're gonna do, we're going to go into Edit, go to the project settings, and we're going to add two particular action mapping events here quick. So we're going to add a fire, and we're going to assign it to be on the left mouse button for the hell of it. And we're going to add another one, call this one charge. And we're going to assign this, now come on, we're going to assign this to the left mouse button as well. Set as default, hit OK. Now we need to make a particle. We need to actually make the charge particle and also the actual projectile particle. So let's take a look here. Let's go to particles. Let's make our own here real quick. Go to new particle system, call it charge, no, let's call it projectile. Projectile, let's call it green, because we're going to make a green charge particle for the hell of it. Let's do some simple things to it. Let's go ahead. I will let this go black real quick, and I'll show you what I did when I got done with setting this up. Okay, so I made a quick particle. Basically what I did, I set the material to be a spark material that's built into the editor, and made the color, the initial color, be green by 10. And I made a sphere one, making sure the velocity is based on the sphere. Just basically quick, simple things we could do with this particle. So that's all we need to do with that. Now let's take a look here. So what we're going to need to do first, let's go ahead and make a new blueprint based on, let's go here. Actually not blueprint, what am I saying? Let's make a new add code to project. So we're going to make a actor. We're going to call this green. We'll call it, yeah, let's call it green ability. And we'll hit create class. Give it a second. Yeah, let's see, hit no. We'll actually reload the solution real quick when we pull this up, be a little easier. Alright, so should see tutorial charge. Here we are. Cool. So we have green ability right here, good. And we're going to need the character as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at a few things quick. So for the green ability, let's go ahead and bring in a default component here real quick. Default U property. So let's go ahead and say U property. Actually, I got this ready and set to go. So let's go ahead and do this quick. Copy. Alright, so visible anywhere. blue read only, category be particle. We're going to say T sub object and pointer PTR. And we're going to make it a class. That's what we need to put in there. Let's do U particle system component. There we are. And then that, and we'll name it green scale. There we are. Alright, so I should take care of that. Has a problem with this, but I think it'll go away shortly. And then we gotta declare in our constructor. We'll say green scale. And then it'll be equals to the common PCIP, create component. This thing's always so hard to type out and paste it. It's pretty simple to do, but it's just kind of common when you create default properties in your class for your things and stuff. Alright, so I'm going to call it with this. And we're going to name it. And we'll name it green scale. Sounds good to me. What else do we need to do? We'll adjust the character here in a bit, but I want to get this taken care of. And also another thing I did as well, I followed the first person character tutorial and got the projectile movement stuff, which is kind of common if you want to have default properties for that if you wanted. So what you could do is just be like, grab this and then use this particular thing here. Hang on, that was my bad. Use this property here. It's just basically getting a projectile movement component that actually tells you actually add it in there in Blueprint, but I like to hard code it in there personally. So it makes things simpler. Same with the collision component. I usually hard code it in there as well, and it just kind of helps me better. If I want to adjust the size of it, I could just do it in code, but I don't know. I like doing it this way. So then we could say these few things here as well, because we're going to want the collision component be the root component, so then the projectile can attach to that. Oops, my bad. Alright, so, and also we're going to do, let's get these few properties in here too for the projectile class. And I'll explain what I'm doing here as well. Basically, creating it in the default properties, making the speed by default 3000, the gravity scale 0, you know, the update component is also the collision component, and max speed 3000, and so forth. Pretty simple stuff. So let's go ahead and say, with this, we're going to say green scale. The reason we probably call it green scale is because we're going to be adjusting the scale of it when we are charging it. That's why I do that instead. So we're going to say screen scale attached to, and we're going to attach it to the root component, which is, of course, the collision component. All right, there we go. That should do. For some reason it's having a heyday. Oh, I know why. Because we need to include a particular thing. I found this really strange why you had to include, but I got on the forums. I got help from amazing people about this. So particle definitions. There we go. There we go. I think I'll clean that up a little bit for the green scale, because we're getting a particle class to get into here. So, okay. I think it stops complaining now. Alright, so let's go ahead and hit play, see if this works real quick. I'll take a little bit to build here. I'm going to put, let's just go back for a second. Alright, starting up the editor. And we're going to take a look. We're going to actually make a blueprint for this in order for it to be a default property for it. So now we can make a new blueprint. And we could get from the custom classes called, of course, green ability. Yes. So now we get all the default properties what we made inside it. We'll also call it green ability. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look. And of course, you can see the root component is hard-coded in. Collision comp, which is the name, projectile movement, which we named for the projectile. And also we attached the green scale to the root component, which is, of course, the collision component. And also now we can edit some of the few things in here. Remember that not projectile, what am I saying? The particle we made? We can actually get that particle and set it up to be for that. Pretty cool. Very cool. All right, so since we got this taken care of, now we need to set up a few things for the character to shoot the projectile. So we'll go in there here in a quick second, and we'll pick it up. Where are you at? There we are. So now we're going to add quite a few variables to this particular event here. So we're going to add, we're going to need a few bools, you know, like if B is charging, and we're going to need to set up a custom function just called fire so we can actually shoot our projectile. So let's go and do a few things here real quick. Name the category something different. I'm going to call it, we'll call it particle. We'll call it projectile. Actually, projectile would be better. We can actually name that and adjust the class for it. We're also going to need to declare the classes for things as well. But we're going to get the bools in first. We're going to call it a bool. B is charging. There's our first one. We declare. And we're going to make another one. And if I can name projectile correctly, it'd be nice to do. There we go. Okay, I'll put this in the projectile class. And there we go. And then we're going to name this one. We're going to do a T subclass of, I think it's like this. I can't remember right offhand. I think it's like that. Let's see if it likes that. Should, but let me double check. Should be, yep, subclass of. There you are. We're going to need a subclass of green ability. I'm going to put a green ability because it's an actor. There we go. And we're going to name this green ability class. Just for the hell of it. There we go. So we get the subclass of that because we're going to need that when we spawn our actor. It'll come in very handy. What else do we need? We're going to need a few things as well. We're going to need a float. Actually, no, let's do it. Make it a local variable when we actually do it in our function because we're just doing it. We're only calling that particular charge when we're in the component for that. So, I think what else do we need? Yeah, screw it. We'll just put charge amount be global. I think it'll just make life easier. Projectile. We're going to have it be a float charge amount. There we go. All right, so that should take care of that. Let's see. Don't need that. We're also going to need a few functions now. We're going to say virtual. If I can say virtual. Void. Begin play, because we're going to set some properties right off the bat. Just in case. We're going to get, what else do we need? We're going to need tick for sure. Virtual void. Tick. We need float. and delta time. There we go. What else do we need? We're going to need charge and fire because we're going to make those custom functions when we actually execute them. So we'll say void fire and void charge. All right, so I believe that's all we need. If we actually need something else, I'll actually adjust it here in this tutorial. So let's go ahead in our constructor. Actually, I just realized something as well. We are going to need a few particle systems for when we actually charge it. Let's realize that. The green ability class will be there for the for when we spawn it, but we're going to need I'll show you here in a bit. We're going to make a property for. We're going to call this one charge, so we can separate it because we're going to need the not projectile, but the particle. So when we actually attach it to the socket, we know what to turn off and turn back on. Sub object pointer. I'm going to need particle system. Particle system component. There we are. And we can call it green charge, I think. Charge. There we go. Should be good to go there. We also got to add that particular include file here quick. Hashtag include. And we're going to get particle definitions, or else we'll have a crazy heyday. So, alright, so next thing we're going to do, we're going to declare those few things in the constructor, but particularly the green ability class. Well, the green ability class will declare when we actually spawn it. The green charge we're going to declare right away because we want it to be attached somewhere. So let's go ahead and green charge equals, we're going to equal to PCIP. Alright, we need to grab it. PCIP, particle system, this, and we're going to name it green charge. There we go. Just make sure we declare that. Is there anything else I need to do? Yes, I need to declare those functions or else it won't work. So I'm going to say void a tutorial charge character ::, and it should find it for us real quick. I like to have the IntelliSense and make sure I know I typed everything correctly before I just go ham on it. It's the only thing is the IntelliSense is a little slow in 2013, but it's better than nothing. I'm going to put in begin play. There we are. Boom, boom. Do the same thing with tick. Void. Input ones we're gonna actually declare real quick. Alright, so we got all those typed up and they're ready to go. Except it's having a problem here. Why is it having a problem? I know it's included. Let's see. Yeah, tutorial charge character charge. Did I forget a semicolon anywhere? No, I did not. I wonder if it'll work when I build it though. Yes, save selected. I closed out the Unreal Engine 4 quick. So then I can... Oh, there it goes. There we go. I'll go hit debug and see what we get from here. All right, here we go. All right, so let's take a look at my character. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so we got green charge, which is attached to nothing. It's just a part of the system here now. But we're going to need to do a few things to the character. Particularly just one thing is okay. All we need to do is add a socket. So let's go to character, hero TPP, go to the skeleton. Let's go ahead and let's take a look. What bone do we want? I think I want spine 2, usually the best. Yeah, that'll do. Spine 1, spine 2, yep. We're going to add a socket. We're going to name it add socket. We're going to name it projectile socket. There. And we're going to adjust it a little bit so it's not like inside them and whatnot. Make it be out here. A little too far, maybe right here be fine. Alright, so that should work. And we'll save it. Exit out. Now let's go ahead and go back to our code. And what we're going to do, we're going to say this. Basically what we did, we got the green charge and we attach it to the projectile socket of the mesh because it needs to know what component and what socket name. So let's go ahead, go back to, here we are. Go ahead, compile it real quick. Compile, it might take a little while for the first compile. I'm going to let it go black for a bit and I'll come back when it gets done compiling. Alright, just got done compiling. So let's go ahead. Let's take a look at our hero character. Okay, we got that still there. Good. I'm just going to hit save on this again. Just to make sure. So let's go back to blueprint. Let's go to my character. Let's take a look. Actually, ain't going to start because it's in the constructor. You have to reload the engine quick. So let's go ahead, exit out of it, and restart it. Sometimes it has a heyday for that. Also, I'm going to adjust the camera so it's not so close. So you actually kind of see it, shoot out. So let's make it at 750. 750 for target arm length. That sounds pretty good to me. Hit play, and let's see what we got. Alright, so let's go back in my character. Alright, so we don't see it. And we'll click on it. And look, it's actually attached to the approximate location of the socket name. So now let's go ahead and assign a particular here, projectile green. We'll assign it to that. And of course, it's going to get annoying to see that always starting up right off the bat. Because if you can see, hit if you hit play, it's gonna be right off the bat. It's just gonna be there. So what we're gonna want to do, we're gonna actually put it in hard coded in code and actually deactivate right from the start too. And also will activate when the charge portion hits and stuff. So let's go ahead and go back to tutorial charge quick. We're going to do a few things. So we're going to actually tell it, let's see, green charge pointer and deactivate actually. Deactivate. So right off the bat it's deactivated because, we don't want the charge while we're running around. And the tick we'll have here shortly, but we're going to do a few things. We're actually set up the controls and actually set up to be with these functions. So we're going to say input component, and I'm going to say bind action. We're going to have it be, if you remember, fire, and comma, and it'll be IE underscore released. Because reason why we're saying released is because we want to hold down the mouse button when we actually charge it, and when we let go, it'll shoot out the projectile. What was it called? A tutorial charge character : fire. There we go. That one's done. Now let's do the next one. Input component bind action. We're going to call it charge. IE underscore pressed. This and reference to a tutorial charge character charge. And there we go. And we got all the input stuff taken care of. So we're also going to do a few more things, because remember that bool we put up, the B is charging? I'm going to set that to the start, have that be false right from the start too. There it is. Equals false. Alright, so now, of course, obviously, we're going to tell this here, B is charging true. There. Now we're going to say, now this is where the tick's going to be really handy. So we're going to say, if B is charging, of course, and then we're going to do actually green charge activate. Is active, activate. Bink, bink, bink. No. There we go. So we'll actually do a few things. We're actually going to tell it, do a debug message just to be sure. I'm going to say add on screen debug message. And you have one key, -1, please. There we go. And it would be for 2 seconds, 2.f. F color, make it be black. And let's have it say green charging. There we go. Just a quick text test. It helps quite a bit when you do stuff like this. And we're going to, right off the bat, we're going to make charge, right if it's charging as well, we're going to do one more thing too. We're going to say charge amount plus equals delta time. Now the reason why we're doing this, we're going to have the charge amount take care of the 3D scale of the vector of that particular object here. So let's go ahead and say green charge set relative scale 3D. We're making an F vector, and we're going to say charge amount, and charge amount. There. Now what this is going to do, while it's updating, it's what a tick is like updating every frame if you are familiar with Unreal Script or Unreal in general. So every frame it's going to change the relative scale by the charge amount for every frame, and it's going to make it look really big, kind of like a charge effect for the particle. And then we actually got to set some parameters so it doesn't go too big. Actually, let's go ahead and take a look, see when it gets too big. I like looking at this stuff. It's pretty cool. But before we do that, I think we have to set up the fire first, so then we can tell it to stop charging in the process. Be a good idea. And also, we can actually spawn it. And we also forgot to set an else statement, or else it's going to keep getting bigger and bigger and potentially crash Unreal Engine. So let's go and say else. We're going to say green charge deactivate, and then we're going to actually try to see what else we could do. Yeah, I guess that'll work. That should work just fine. Let's see. I think we should be good. Yeah, that should be just fine. So now let's go ahead and set fire. This is going to take a little bit. But first, I just kind of want to show you guys here first. I think if I show you, it'll be kind of cool. So let's go ahead and get this going, see if we make it work. It should take long to compile to the first one, hopefully. There we are. So let's take a look, see if we got this working quick. Yep, there it goes. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Now it's flooding up the screen. And as I let go, it's still going. But, but yeah, I thought you might like that so far. But that's what we're trying to achieve for the chargeability so far. Make it look like that. So now we got that set up. Now we need to tell Unreal right when we shoot, we want to shoot the projectile, but we also want the projectile to be the same size of the projectile that's being shot. So let's take a look here. I think we need to do one more thing, unless we already got. No, never mind. We just get green scale, but I'll show you here in a real quick how this is kind of set up. So first off, what we are going to need to do, we're going to get a few parameters quick. So first of all, we're going to tell right off the bat, say B is charging false, because that would be pretty handy. It was the one to keep charging in our fists. So we're going to make sure, we're going to say G engine, just to double check, make sure we got these things working. Add on screen, not ass on screen, add on screen. Oh my gosh. So we're going to say -1, 2.f, f color. I'm going to have it be black as well. And we're going to say fire. Yeah. Simple as that. Just make sure it works. Alright, so now what we're going to need to do, we're going to get a few things. We're going to get a vector and a rotator to get our particular socket we're shooting out from. So we're going to say f vector. And I'm going to call it socket lock. And that will equal mesh, which is a default property in the character. And we're going to get that have that pointer point to get socket. Let's get location. And we're going to get the name of the socket, which is projectile _ socket. And already we have a variable that holds the location of our socket right off the bat. You're going to do the same thing for the rotator. F rotator socket rot equals mesh pointer get socket rotation and projectile _ socket. You get the location and the rotation, which is pretty nice. So now we need to do one more thing, which is the actor spawn parameters. It's kind of a thing, kind of like a, how to describe it, kind of like saying who's shooting it, like who's the instigator, if you're familiar with what instigator is. So we're going to say if actor spawn, not spawn parameters. Get that bad boy. I'm going to call it spawn params. I'm going to say spawn params dot owner, if it lets me do it, equals this. Well, what am I saying? Not equals. I gotta name it. There we go. There we go. I don't want to. There we go. Owner equals this. So we want to equal the owner be the character, of course. Now we're going to say spawn parameters dot instigator equals the instigator, of course. Now we're going to say. This is where we kind of have to get the class name and actually name it and also spawn it. So this is going to be a green ability. And we're going to give it a pointer name of spawn green equals get world. And we're going to spawn actor. We also dynamically get a green ability, and we're going to get the parameters be green ability class, so then we can know what it's being assigned to. And it's socket lock, so we get the location. I shall actually have it be if it shows them here. There we go. I'll even get the spawn parameters if you dynamically cast it. There we go. Location, rotation is what we're looking at. Socket location, socket rotation, and the spawn parameters, which is, of course, spawn params. And there we go. We just spawned a ability. Now, this is where things get complicated. Not really, what am I saying? We got to say if spawn green. What we're going to do here, we're going to actually set up the scale of the actual projectile particle to be adjusted with the charge amount. And also we could also, let's see here, we could also set up the speed if we wanted to, but we're just going to do the size for now. So let's go ahead and say spawn green. Get the pointer, if it lets me get anything of it. Why is it not letting me? It should let me get it. If spawn green, pointer. That's very strange. What am I doing wrong here? Let's take a look here. Spawn green, spawn actor. Green ability, yeah. Pretty sure we did this right. Yeah. Well, crap. It should be able to let me, because I've done this before. Okay. Actually, let me just build it first. Oh, it also could be because this is still running too. Let it get out of debug. So let's go ahead and say, let's try it now. If I could spawn green. Nope, doesn't like it. That is very strange. So actually let's do it this way for now. Let's go ahead, let it be that, and see if it actually lets this happen. So should let me do it. Do. Alright, let's take a look, see what it does not like. Remember, void constant. Use of undefined type. Let's see here quick. Yeah, it does not like that much. Green ability. Shouldn't have a problem. But I guess it does. Oh, I know why. Guess what I forgot, guys? Hashtag include. Guess what I forgot? Green ability. That would make so much sense, yeah? .h. Now it should let me do everything I want down here. Wait, nope, I don't want it here. I want it in the actual CPP file. There we go. Now it should let me have it. Okay, so where did my fire go? Fire. Here we go. So now let's try it. So if spawn green. There we go. Now it's actually typecasting. Green. There we go. There we go. Okay, so spawn green. There we go. Now we can say green scale. We'll get that one, and we'll actually set relative scale 3D. F vector, and we'll have it be charge amount, and charge amount. There we go. Set it all up. Get rid of that bracket. Don't need to be there. There. Now we can actually set it to be the size of the charge amount when we actually shoot it. Okay, so now we actually do a few more things quick. We actually need to set parameters in the tick to be like if it's greater than 3 or 4, stay that way. So all right, so we could say if charge amount is greater than 3.0 F, charge amount equals 3.0 F. There. Simple fix. Let's see what else we need to do. Oh, we need to set up charge amount variable as well right off the bat. Charge amount will have it equal 0.05 F. Well, 0.5 F. There we go. And then let's see here quick. Trying to think when we release it, we want it to be a particular variable. Let's see. We could probably do it in the charge portion, but I just want to be for sure. Yeah, I think we'll do it under fire. We'll set it up back. When everything's done, we'll set charge amount to be equal to 0.5 F. Okay. So, let's go ahead and build it, and let's see how it works. Yeah, I noticed the length of my tutorials have been a little bit longer because I want to make sure I kind of go a little bit more in depth with a few things to kind of make sense with the projectile coding and stuff. But I hope this helps you guys. And also, I got a new microphone and whatnot. Just kind of don't have a stand, so I've been kind of trying to multitask with this. So, okay, so we need to do one more thing here, quick. In our my character, we'll type in class, not X class, because we need to assign the projectile class. Green ability class. Oh, it's not letting me assign it. Why aren't you letting me assign it? It's not going to work unless I assign it. That is strange. Let's take a look here. We should. I think I might be missing one thing. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll make sure we do have everything we need. Could be. What was it particularly looking for? Green ability class. I assign it as a projectile. Okay, so unless I need to put... That's probably why. Now I think about it. I should put class. Oh, I do have class A green ability. However, it's not letting me change anything. Running into this problem quite a bit at 4.0.2 where I can't change some of the properties for some reason, but let's see. I'm going to figure this SOP out. Should be able to, because the green ability class, we want a projectile to be different. So we got that working just fine. So what about this here quick? These are still the same. That's good. Okay. I always run these problems sometimes, but we'll get this figured out. Actually, let's go ahead and close it. And let's see quick. Okay, so green ability class, A green ability. Yeah, this all should work just fine. Because I had the same exact stuff. This should. Actually, I just had a thought. I wonder if I should do it this way. Should do edit defaults only instead of visible anywhere. Edit defaults only. We'll see if this works. I think that could be the problem. And if that works, then hell yeah. Alrighty. Alright, let's take a look at one last time. Class. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Okay. Have two green abilities. Which one is this? Yep, blueprint one. That's what I want. Save. Now let's take a look, see what we got for a masterpiece. Let's go ahead and go to the left. See if it goes pretty far in charging. And you can also see my debug of it. Oh, shooting upward. I gotta adjust the projectile actually. Not projectile, but the socket. So we're gonna do that real quick. Go to the character. If it's shooting upward, this is all part about socket work too. It gets to be a pain sometimes, but it's not so bad. So if it's shooting up, let's have it point a little bit down. Not so far. It's like 70 degrees forward. And also you can see the socket pointing out too, so kind of helps a bit. Let's try it right there. Save it. And play. Let's see, we got the charge. Of course, it's not getting any bigger at a specific point. And it kind of works. But the only thing is we got to adjust the, we'll adjust some variables in here real quick, actually. Let's go ahead back to our code. Just a few things in our charge amount. Well, that should be 1.0, make it maximum be 4. And then if it gets greater than 4, sounds pretty legit to me. And then we'll set this back to 1.0f. Oops, don't need 2 Fs. Alright, so let's go ahead and compile it. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. Alright, so let's take a look again. There we go. It's probably a little bit more brighter too. And now you actually kind of see it when it shoots out, but it's still kind of shooting downward. This is where you just got to adjust it. Alright, so let's try this out for size. And there we go. So we got charge up. And it was shooting out. And also shooting out by the size of how big the charge is. So essentially what we do have here, we have a charging projectile, and it's shooting out to the size that we have it when we shoot it out. So it doesn't matter, like if it's in mid charge, it'll shoot out the exact same size that we want. Well, that's just kind of a brief tutorial I want to go over with you guys, and I hope you guys like it. Subscribe, and I'll be posting more tutorials in the future. Thanks for watching.